He got the shit. He didn't have to fucking jump in the air all the goddamn time. He didn't have to fucking, he just had to catch the ball and take off running. Hey guys, and welcome to the Watch Your Mouth podcast. I'm your host, Malik Amin, here with my brother with the white mother, T-Rob. Hey, we're here. We're going to be talking about sports. We started this thing because almost every night we sit up and we argue about sports. Both of us think we're right all the time. So, see what I mean? We haven't even started yet. He's already saying he's right. So, if you're watching this and you think we're both wrong, give your opinions. Give us a shout out. If you think he's wrong, which you most likely are, give us a shout out and we'll go from there. You know what I mean? Thank you for coming in and doing this with me. How you doing today?
Oh man, I'm doing all right. You know, like I said, you know, we spend almost every weekend together, and we're always just going at it, man. You know, it's always a constant battle, and you know, he plays the devil's advocate most of the time.
Everybody that knows me knows that.
But you know, it's always a good argument. It's always fun and games unless you're somebody else standing around us and we think we're about to throw punches. But you know, we decided to start this just because you know we have too much time on our hands, and you know, I ain't got 2 kids, and he's got 5 of them. So
after he said we got too much time on our hands are full as fuck. I can't hold no more shit, but it just keeps piling on.
So yeah. So anyways, we're gonna kind of go through. We're gonna start out with some subjects. There's some what's happening in sports today. You know, that's what we're really going to focus on. We may stray off subject and start talking about Marvel characters or anything, cinematic, anything. But
Stephen King books,
doesn't really matter. So, and if you guys have a subject or anything you'd like us to talk about, comment below, and we'll get onto it, and we'll get onto it the next episode. So, today the first subject.
DeAndre Hopkins. We sit down and we're like, hey, what are we going to talk about first? And the draft has already taken place, you know, close to home in KC. And we were thinking, all right, what moves haven't people make? And no one's picked up D-Hop yet. Why do you think no one's picked him up yet?
You know, there's a lot of things that play into it. I think, first of all, he doesn't want to get signed yet. I mean, that's the first thing.
You think he's playing the game? That's puppets.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. That's what the NFL and I mean any professional sports is nowadays. You know, they play the game. You know, a lot of them they don't want to get signed right now because they don't want to go. They don't want to go play. You know, go practice and get hurt and not be able to make the money.
I didn't think about that. I mean, somebody with his caliber, though, don't need to show up to practice, doesn't need to show what he can do. Everyone can already see what he can do. So do you think he's going for the money or he's going for the ring? And in that decision, which team do you think he's going to go to in making that decision?
You know, it's really hard to say in this day of the NFL. You know, I think personally it's probably more towards the money.
I agree.
You know, he's
that ain't gonna happen a lot, y'all. I promise you.
You know, he tried with Arizona. You know, that was where he was going to try and get that ring, and obviously big old small old Kyler Murray 5 foot whatever couldn't pull it off, and that's unfortunately. I think D-Hop is more, kind of going towards that money nowadays, and
I agree, which is sad these days because he's got plenty of money. You know what I mean? I would like to see him go for a little bit of both, which is why I think he should come to the Chiefs. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but with the Chiefs, remember Patrick Mahomes is still looking for a number 1 receiver outside of Travis Kelce. That has yet. Since Tyreek Hill left, he has yet to find another one, and D-Hop would be a perfect addition to that.
You're talking about 1 year. He says you say yet to find one, but that's 1 year that he has yet to find one. And I don't think Patrick Mahomes. I don't think he needs a number 1 wide receiver. Now
he doesn't need one, but he can use one. You think what would Patrick Mahomes do?
I mean, you could argue that Travis Kelce has always been his number 1 receiver.
Yeah, I agree with that. But when you talk about when we don't look at Travis Kelce, a lot of people don't look at him as like a true receiver. We're talking about a person that they're not blocking, or if they are, it's very, very rare. We need a person out there with hands that can go out super deep and that's going to be reliable. When's the last time we had somebody like that besides Tyreek Hill?
Well, you're right, and you know me. And
I say we because we are Chiefs fans. If you haven't seen,
if you didn't know by now, no. I mean, I as a Chiefs fan, I would love to see D-Hop in a Chiefs uniform, but I don't think. First of all, it's not necessary, and second of all, I don't think it can happen. I don't think there is enough wiggle room within the contract and the timing. Obviously, Chris Jones, if we restructured him, that would be a possibility. But are you willing to put that much money into one player? Are you?
Well, that's the thing about the Chiefs. They're not going to have to give him. That's the whole thing. That's what he's going to have to, I guess you can say, sacrifice or be in the middle. He's going to have to play. If he wants a ring, he's going to have to say the Chiefs are going to be able to, one, give him the money he deserves. There's a difference between doing that and getting the money you want. And then on top of that, he's going to get a ring. Where do you think he's going to go that he's going to get a ring?
You know, I've been thinking about this long and hard. I think, personally, there's a few teams that he could go to. And, I think at this point, if you're looking at it from AFC to NFC, his best bet has to be the NFC. I think there's a lot of teams in the NFC that are vying for that.
Well, of course, because everybody's going to throw the kitchen sink at him.
Yeah. Well, and that's the big thing. And I think, if I were him right now, the team that is most well put together, that could vie for a playoff spot, obviously, would be the Cowboys.
Now, the Cowboys.
Now,
the Cowboys. They're already in. I'm not saying the Cowboys like they're garbage or anything like that. I think they're in a strong position to actually even go to the Super Bowl. But he's not going to fit in there. Where is he going to fit?
Well, you're talking about they have CeeDee Lamb, right? And then they have Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is a good receiver. I won't say great. He's a good receiver. He's had 1,000 yards pretty much everywhere he's gone. I mean, he's a free agent receiver that has just, a perennial free agent receiver that has gone and been traded to multiple teams and then gone on to have 1,000 yards. But he's getting older. I think the Cowboys are.
So is D-Hop.
Yes, but I think that CeeDee Lamb is going to be their bona fide, number one. But if you're looking at it from the outside perspective, he's only been in the league for 2-3 years. And if you bring in somebody like D-Hop, that boosts your potential more than anything else. And we all know Jerry Jones is that type of guy.
He's not. Jerry ain't about to dish out the money that he needs. He already fucked himself giving it to Dak Prescott.
Sure.
And then he's had to pay everyone else. You know how many people had to get re-signed just within the last 3 seasons?
And that's why I said it is a possibility. And there's a bunch of teams in the NFC. You could list them off. You could say the Lions. The Lions need a top receiver.
I think he's going to go to the. I think he's going to go to the AFC. I think he's going to go to New England.
That's the way things are looking right now. Yeah. But
New England's the most desperate team.
Is he the best fit? That's the question in that offense.
Well, here's the problem. What's going on with the offense? He would be the best fit. The problem is they gotta get some protection out there. Mac Jones was sacked 34 times.
Yeah,
last season compared to 28 the season before, which is still a lot. So that just tells you they definitely need a line, and they went out and got some guys this draft. So that's just yet to be seen. But they do need some power out there. And when's the last time New England actually got a superstar receiver? Probably, I think, Moss? Maybe be the last one they got.
That's going to be the last one.
And they got the money. Hell, they got the money to get Dalvin Cooks as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I think that's
what's going to happen,
I think that's probably where he'll end up. Let me ask you this before we move on. Do you think they signed him to a multi-year contract?
Who's that? Wherever he goes?
Yes.
Again, it depends on wherever he goes, but yes, of course, no one's going to sign. It's not a Juju Smith Schuster situation where he's been hurt and you're concerned about his health. This is DeAndre Hopkins we're talking about here. You know what I mean? You're not gonna sign him and not give him a multiple year contract. You know.
Yep.
Speaking of contracts, though, there's this kid from France that everybody's been watching. I've been watching him for a minute. We were discussing him earlier. We got to talk about that big motherfucker, 7'5", Victor Wembanyama. I apologize if I said his name wrong. You motherfuckers can't say his name right. I can barely say my own name right. I say a lot of words wrong. But we're going to call him Wemby.
We're just going to call him Wemby.
We're going to call him Wemby. When we talk about Wemby, that's what we're thinking of. He comes out of France. He's the next biggest thing. 19-year-old kid. What do you think he's going to do in the league? A lot of people keep comparing him to LeBron James. Is that even fair that we do that?
Listen, I think he's going to be a good player. I think he's going to be possibly great. But do I think the comparison to LeBron James is fair? No. I think there's really no way you can compare anybody to LeBron. Not with what he's done in the league and what he's been able to do. Just dominating, every year.
I think more so is asking, like, do you foresee him dominating? Like the fact that it's the more so what he's able to do. And you've seen him. I mean, and everybody that knows who we're talking about, you've seen him. You've seen his footwork. You've seen his shot. You know what I mean? What he's able to do as a big man, which it's a big man's game now, a big shooting man's game. You can't just be a one-dimensional player controlling the paint anymore. You got to be able to get out there outside and shoot from downtown. But I think it is okay to compare him to LeBron because everyone compared LeBron to Michael Jordan.
That is true. Yeah.
I don't remember who everyone compared Michael Jordan to, but I'm sure he was compared to somebody coming in after a while.
You're probably right.
Far as his dominance, what do you think he's going to do though his first season in the league?
His first season, I think it's going to be very up and down. The biggest hope I think for somebody of his size and his, he's not a very muscular, built for the NBA kind of player.
I think he's going to get bullied a little.
I think he's going to be more like a Chet Holmgren, the first year. I think he's got to build up. He's got to get ready for the NBA. I think he's going to have a okay first year, maybe a Lonzo Ball. Maybe average. Let's say 15 to 20 points. Maybe obviously some rebounds in there. I think his assist game is he's going to definitely throw that rock around.
They're going to need him to put up more than 15.
But that's the problem is if you push a player like that, then you stunt his career. And I think Greg Popovich is a better coach.
Oh yeah, the young man's lucky. Yeah, the young man's lucky to land where he landed.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Or which better? And you know what? The last 2 first-round picks, he won a championship with them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He won 5 with Tim Duncan, or 4 with Tim Duncan. I apologize.
Yeah.
5 altogether with David Robinson and Tim Duncan. So you couldn't, and then in my opinion, I think he's one of the greatest coaches, top 3 greatest coaches of all time. I know some people talk to me crazy when I say that.
No.
What's your opinion on that?
You won't hear it from me.
Man, that's crazy. Hey, these people tune in to hear us argue. We have agreed so much right now, and we hardly ever agree. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
With Greg Popovich, I won't argue. I think he's definitely top 3, if not top 3, top 5. I mean, there's no argument there. You could maybe say Doc, but at the end of the day,
Doc, you talking crazy. If you want a winning season during the regular fucking season, you hire Doc Rivers. You want a fucking great regular season and make it to the playoffs?
So
hire Doc Rivers.
But I got one question for you. Do you think how long until he wins his first chip?
Oh man. I think that's a fucking good ass fucking question. Definitely not this season, obviously.
Right.
And then we got to think about who they're going to be able to trade for in the future, or maybe draft. They're going to have to build a little bit more around him. I just think that teams are already getting ahead of them, and they got a lot of catching up to do. Man, that's a good question. Dare I say 5 seasons, maybe? I think he's going to need to get a little bit more weight on him. He's going to be getting a little bit bullied out there in the paint. But fortunately for him, the dude can shoot his ass off.
Yep.
And he's got handles. How can you face somebody that's 7'5" with fucking handles?
Again, like I said, I
With
think
Chris Paul handles. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's definitely going to be a great player. I think he's very good right now. He could become great, and he's in the right system. He's with the right coach. He's with the right players around him right now. That he could grow into a very good player.
What do you think if they picked up Damian Lillard with him?
Oh man,
because he's up for grabs.
The Dame subject,
he's up for grabs. So we're talking about Wemby and going to the Spurs, and I just said, he needs to get some people to build around him. I think that might be somebody also to take him under his wing, other than Greg Popovich. He had Dennis over there with Tim Duncan to take him under his wing. You know what I mean? He needs another person.
I think it's a little. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little early. I don't think Dame would want to go there. Why
wouldn't he?
I just think Dame.
Why wouldn't he want to play for Dame? They got the money to give him.
They do.
Greg Popovich.
I think Dame is a great player, and I think he wants to be around great players. And the problem is right now, you just don't know. Wemby is, I think he's going to be a good player. I think he's in the right system to become a great player. But do I think Dame wants to go and get himself traded? Because let's be honest, Dame has he could go anywhere. He can choose where he wants to go. And I don't think that is the right fit at this point. I think if it were a couple of years down the road and Wemby was built that muscle up, built that body up, built that resume up, I think yes.
I think with Dame, he ain't gonna need to do all of that. I would like to remind you of another tall ass linky motherfucker by the name of Kevin Durant, who people were saying was not big enough, and he was still balling motherfuckers. He's got a problem with being healthy, but when he's on the court, he is probably one of the most consistent players to ever play the game.
Yes, but KD was. You're saying the same thing, and KD was surrounded by James Harden and Russell Westbrook, and he did.
They were all babies in the league.
Exactly,
they were all babies. They were all babies. Just imagine if they had a vet. If they had a Damian Lillard, they wouldn't have gave up a 3-0 lead, or what was it, 3-1 with the Warriors. That probably wouldn't have happened. That was some young ass minded shit that happened why they lost.
I agree, but that's the problem. Is does Dame want to go and teach somebody?
I think he does. He spent all that time over there with Portland. Why wouldn't he want to go somewhere that's doing something?
So
that's the only thing he had a problem with. Portland wasn't doing shit. They were about to bury Sanders' ass.
If you're asking,
ruin his career. Yes, hold him hostage.
If you're asking me, I think at this point Dame is going for them chips. And he's made enough money. He's done it. He's done everything.
He's talking about the money, and he can win a chip down there with that kid.
Think so
that kid is unbelievable, off the charts, unbelievable. The only thing he has against him is that he's scrawny, that he's skinny. That boy is off the charts good.
I think if we're strictly talking about where Dame wants to go, we have to talk about the Lakers, and. I hear what you're saying. I see you shaking your head, but and at my heart, I'm not a Lakers fan. At my heart, I couldn't give a shit about the Lakers, to be quite honest with you. But I'm a LeBron fan.
Damn right, here. Damn right.
If I can just imagine a team with Damian Lillard, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. And you could put those three on the court.
Well, Yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening. I was about to try to argue on that, and then I started imagining it in my head. I can see that happening. He wanted to go to the Warriors, but they did some stupid ass shit and got CP3 instead.
CP3,
which I thought was some stupid ass shit. It's not to be honest with you, it hasn't been a pure point guard's game in a long time. You know what I mean? I would say even in his prime, he was a rarity. Everyone kept calling him, and you heard it before, probably the most truest point guard in the game right now. And now it's definitely not a point guard's game.
No.
Okay, well, it's you got to be a 7 foot tall point guard now. It's fucking crazy. We can take Joker for that.
I think back to the Dame subject. I think the Lakers are probably, for me, the best fit. And I think if he were to go there, he has the best option for, first of all, winning a chip. Second of all, is he going to be a major contributor? Obviously,
anywhere he goes,
and they have the ability to pay him. If it weren't the Lakers, I think the only other option you have right now would be the Nuggets, and that would be.
Well, do the Lakers? I don't know much more. I don't know much about that side on how much they're paying everyone else. But I mean, do they have the money to give him what he wants? I mean, he's projected to get a big chunk of change.
You have to think about what they have around AD and LeBron. There is multiple teams out there that have 2 players on a max contract, which the Lakers do, and they have a bunch of surrounding pieces. And the question is going to be: does Dame want to take that pay cut? And obviously, I think at this point,
hell no, he's been taking pay cuts.
But he's been taking pay cuts to play by himself.
That's why I said they was going to bury Sanders' ass, because Detroit did that to him. They took hostage of Barry Sanders' career, and that's what Portland was about to do to Dame. You know what I mean? And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that shit. But hey, let's go on to the next one real quick. The thing I want to talk about is the top 3 quarterbacks that were drafted. We've got Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and Will Levis. Did I say his name right?
That's not Will Levis. You forgot about Anthony Richardson.
Oh shit! Will Levis wasn't number 3?
No, sir. So you gotta. Will Levis was drafted late. So there was a bit of a controversy around that, and they had a video around of poor old Will Levis surrounded by his girlfriend and his mom all sitting on the couch.
Yeah, that's why I fucked that up, because I thought he was gonna get picked.
Yeah, well, he should have been, but he wasn't. And kudos to the Texans or the Titans. They got away with a good pick. We'll see how he turns out. But let's get down to the top 3. We could really narrow this down to the top 2, because who knows what's going to happen with Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's going to be a very good prospect. He's a very good prospect. In college, he wasn't very great. And he's that Cam Newton type of player that who really knows what's going to happen.
I think this was like a low point for quarterbacks in college, though. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't keep up with a lot of college this past season. But as far as quarterback wise, it was kind of low this season as far as the talent coming out.
It was. I think Bryce Young was one of those players that it was almost a Kyler Murray kind of situation. If you don't draft him and he turns out to be very good, then you're
looking stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the number 1? People his size, though. I did pay attention to him.
That's exactly.
And that boy plays lights out.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Joe Montana. People were talking about his size.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been an issue.
If he's got a good line, I don't think that's going to be, you know what I mean? And, the Cardinals the Panthers got a decent line over there. I wouldn't say it's the best, but we'll see. I think he landed in a bad spot. I don't like the Panthers as an organization. But who's your top 2, though?
My top 2, I would have
to say Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud.
All right, so out of those two, who's going to have the best season?
To be honest, I think it's probably going to be C.J. Stroud.
I agree. Ooh, what's happening here? What the fuck? We don't ever agree about shit. What's happening today? We get on this shit, we get on camera, and we just fucking agree about everything.
Well, I think, it's because you guys are such great people. That's why.
Well, yeah, we want to show manners. Yeah, right.
No, I think, honestly, I think C.J. Stroud has a better tool bag to survive in today's NFL. I think he has a better coach. I think,
of course, he got what was that? DeMarcus Ryan,
D'Amico Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
out of he was with San Francisco for a minute, wasn't
he? Yeah.
And he knows his shit over there. He was their defensive coordinator for a minute.
Yeah.
And so he knows a good organization. You know what I mean? When he sees one, and he was a great player himself,
and I think
in college as well.
Yeah, and I think the Texans finally chose right. It's been how many years?
They did.
I think it's been how many years of them choosing. Go down the list: Bill O'Brien, Lovie Smith. Just go down the list there. What was his name? The guy I can't remember his name, from Minnesota. I can't remember his name, but did
they have Romeo over there for a second?
Well, yeah, that was a while back, but yes, yeah. Romeo Cornell was never meant to be a head coach, and I don't think a lot of the people that they've chosen to be their head coaches over the last few years have been the right choice.
I just feel like they haven't been chasing a ring.
No.
I just feel like they were just trying to get asses in the seats. You know what I mean? The Texans are a relatively new team compared to the rest of the teams in the league. They have been a while, but I think they were just trying to get asses in the seats. They had J.J. Watt that was, getting tickets sold there for a minute. But now I think they're at the point where now it's time to chase a ring, which I that's what makes me agree that I think C.J. Stroud, is going to do the best and have probably the best season just because he's with the best organization right now.
And so I think the Panthers are at that point where they're trying to get asses in the seat. They hire a coach like Frank Reich, and I just think that was a bridge coach. I think they have their eyes on somebody else.
They went and got Baker Mayfield. What the fuck? you know what I mean? Like, are they not watching football? Like, what the? You know what I mean? I don't understand. That's like one of my kids over there fucking GMing for them.
Yeah.
What the fuck was going on over there? But watch what's going to happen. It's those teams that people don't prepare for, that never fucking do shit, and all of a sudden they're in the fucking playoffs. They ain't going to do shit the following year. But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen with Carolina this season coming up. Guys, before we go, we want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors that's helping us out. Balance Line Care, if you're watching, that's a shout out to us. Midwest Live, it's a shout out as well. Thank you guys for sponsoring us. We're going to end this segment with what we're going to start the next segment with, and that's our way too early NFL playoff picks. All right, we've been really anxious to show each other this. I know I got some surprise shit on mine. I know he's got some surprise. I probably ain't even agree with none of the shit. He be saying some crazy off the wall shit. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. There's a lot of times that he's right. He did predict Tampa Bay winning that championship with Tom Brady. That was the last good shit you did, though. You know what I mean?
I was talking about them Bengals for a while, man.
Oh, man, come on. You know what? Eventually, the sun shines on every dog's ass every now and then. You know what I mean? If I keep saying it's going to rain, eventually one day it's going to fucking rain. That's what he did with Cincinnati. All right, but real quick, what we're going to do is he's going to name off his 1 through 7 AFC picks, who's going to make it to the next round, all the way to the Super Bowl. Then I'm going to do mine. Then we're going to do the NFC. And then our next show, that's where we're going to begin on debating our picks. All right. So go ahead. What you got for the AFC?
All right. So NFC.
AFC.
NFC. Yeah.
He said, sorry, NFC again. AFC. We're starting with AFC with our home team, Chiefs.
Right. NA. I need to go NA. All right.
We both have dyslexia. It's fine.
So, we'll start with our number one top seed. I'm going to go with the Bills this year. That really hurts my soul as a Chiefs fan, but I
can't wait till next week to talk crazy to this man. He's already started all fucking crazy. Go on.
So I'm going to start with the Bills.
Just list the whole name. List the whole name. Who you got?
And then the second seed is going to be the Chiefs. We'll go to number 3 is going to be Chargers. Number 4 is going to be Dolphins. Number 5 is going to be the Jets. And number 6 seed is going to be the Patriots. And the number 7 seed is going to be the Bengals.
I'm sorry, who'd you have at number 3?
I'm going to have number 3. Number 3 is going to be the Chargers.
How can the Chargers be number 3?
How do you mean?
Well, number 1 through 4 are the teams that win their divisions. They can't be number 3 and the Chiefs be number 2.
No, you might be right. So let's swap them out for the Patriots for number 3 and the Chargers number 6.
Okay, all right, okay.
All right.
So you say either way the Chargers going to be in there. Okay, yeah. I kind of agree. You got 2 teams from the AFC West in there. I do agree 2 teams are going to be in there, but also I'm going to give you one more. I think 3 teams are going to be in there. So number 1, I got the Chiefs, baby. All right. At number 2, I got Cincinnati coming again. I just don't see anyone matching these 2 offenses. At number 3, I got Buffalo winning their division barely. At number 4, I got the Jags kicking off where they left off last season, whooping ass. At number 5, I got Miami. At number 6, the 3rd AFC team, the Las Vegas Raiders. We will we will discuss that next week, I promise. And at number 7, I've got the LA Chargers. And moving on to the next one, I got the Chiefs versus Jags. I got Buffalo versus Cincinnati. Out of those, in the AFC Championship, I got Kansas City versus Cincinnati with the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl.
Well, so it would be the Bills versus the Dolphins. So the Dolphins would beat the Jets. Then I have the Patriots and the Chiefs. So the Patriots beat the Chargers and the Chiefs beat the Bengals. And then I have so it would be the Dolphins versus the Chiefs. That's the game I'm most worried about, folks. And then we go into the Super Bowl. The Chiefs obviously make it into the Super Bowl.
We'll see on that. All right. So what do you got for me on the NFC?
All right. So NFC, I have... First, I have obviously the Eagles. I think they're going to be the top seed in the NFC. It's just watered down. Then I have the Vikings. And then I have, again...
The Vikings? The fuck?
I think they're a very big sleeper team. They got JJ. I think it's a pretty easy pick, to be honest with you.
They lost so many. I'm sorry. I was about to get into it again. This ain't the time to get into it. Go on with the other picks. Go on. This motherfucker.
And then I have the Bears as my number 3 seed. I have the Lions as my number 4 seed. I have the Rams as my number 5 seed. I have the Cowboys as my number 6 seed. Then I have the Falcons as my number 7 seed.
And who's moving to the next round? Name those 4 teams.
Have the next round. I have, obviously, the Eagles, the top seed, versus the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Cowboys versus the Vikings.
And then in an NFC Championship?
I have the Lions versus the Cowboys.
Woo! And then who's going to the Super Bowl?
It's going to be Cowboys versus Chiefs.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm a little shocked there. More shocked that we agreed on something, all right? All right? So, I got actually number 1, Dallas. I've never picked Dallas to be number 1 in anything. This got to be the year because I haven't, all right? I got at number 2, San Francisco. That organization just always finds a way to win, even with quarterback hysteria going on over there. It's fucking nuts, and they always figure out a way. Number 3, I got Detroit. All right. At number 4, I got the Carolina Panthers. I know, but I got a feeling it's going to be one of them situations. People aren't going to prepare for this team properly. They're not going to play that team hard enough, and they're going to have a lot of W's because of which. All right. I got at number 5, Philadelphia. They lost a lot of people, and I think the entire NFC are preparing for Philadelphia, and they're going to come at them hard. All right. At number 6, I got your New York Giants. All right. And then at number 7, I got the Los Angeles Rams. All right. Moving on to the next round, it's going to be Dallas and Philly, and then it's going to be the Giants and San Francisco. I got Dallas and San Francisco in the NFC Championship, and Dallas, just like you, going to the Super Bowl. I would love to see a good old-fashioned, it just feels like something from the past, Chiefs and Dallas, a Super Bowl.
Folks, on the first podcast, we agree on more things than we've ever
agreed. We should have did this a long time ago.
I know it. But, let us know what you think about these picks.
Please.
And give us a subject to talk about. And we'll definitely get into it.
Anything. And any pointers on the podcast, anything you think we can do to improve it, please give a shout out to us. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank my man T-Rob for coming in, my brother with the white mother. Hey, and we did not give a shout out to our guy in the back, Shrunk. He's our guy in the chair. He takes care of everything. He brings up all of our information that we need, the stats. He takes care of our camera work, our lighting. Y'all going to get to know him more in the future. Hey, guys, tune in to us next week on Watch Your Mouth Podcast. Peace out. Brown cow.
Malik sucks big black dicks.
All right, let's go. Your speech exercise all the way. Yeah. He said, Malik sucks big black dicks. Enunciated with the lips. Malik sucks big black dicks. I'm ready.